evening, everybody. Welcome to the June 20th Town of Rensselaerville Planning Board meeting. The agenda for tonight's meeting is 6th, the Enrich and Enrichova minor subdivision, call special use permit preliminary hearing, executive session, and that's all. So I will call the meeting to order at this time. First order or item on the agenda is meeting minutes. I will accept a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the June 6th meeting. Make a motion.
Motion second.
Motion by Laura, second by Brad. All in favor? Aye.
abstain.
And Anne abstains. Opposed, none. Motion carried. All right, so next we have the Enrich and Enrichova minor subdivision. So this is a public hearing for today.
Oh, do you have your slips? Do you have your slips?
I never got any slips.
When you did the certified mail? Did you get the legal notice? Vicky sent it? Okay. Let me just see.
No worries. Brad,
Yeah.
why don't you come on up? I think we might have some on, but I think we can get this remedied pretty easily.
Ugh.
So
Anyway, yes.
try to make it quick for me. So I don't know what happened with the public hearing stuff.
I have no idea. I
So-
was never notified about anything. I know they usually help with that.
So
No,
that could be an issue, but here's why it might not impact your time frame.
Yeah,
Albany County hasn't gotten back to us yet,
yeah.
and their input is required before this board can vote. So if the notice,
As I said last time, so that's why this is now a 60 or 90 day thing.
yeah,
It's, you know, it's just not fair to the residents of the town. I understand it. Been on the zoning board for 15 years. They've never not recommended that to the town.
and
I think it's just a bullshit thing, to be honest with you.
we haven't seen any bad
Right.
recommendations before.
How many times have I heard from you ever? Have you not?
Right.
But anyway, so I knew this was gonna happen. So now we're into July at least.
The only,
They don't meet till next July, whatever, 20th or 20th.
No, it was on the agenda for today.
Yeah, but still, you guys aren't down. When do you meet next?
so,
Do you understand
No,
what I'm saying?
I understand, but.
Anyway. I can
so
see
the
that.
whole issue, it seems like, we have to do the public hearing for it. And our next meeting probably is not July.
No.
It's
So we'll
the-
have to-
So now it's long, it's probably gonna hold it. We're not stupid or not. Anyway, I can assume that you just. About all of you.
Unfortunately, and
Bullshit, I know.
legally, they want to go forward on it,
Sure.
but legally,
I know
it's
you
just
can,
an
I
issue.
understand that.
And I feel.
I'm not
for it.
yelling at anybody, I know how the system works, I've been doing it for years, and it's just not fair. We had a guy a few years ago, wanted to build a garage, a little too close to the road. 6 months later, it's January, he gets to build his garage.
I remember.
Remember that? So I mean, it's not fair. But anyway, whether it's fair or not, I don't care. I worked in jail, so not really fair in there. Anyway. So at this point, I guess I can submit my,
I think what makes the most sense, we went over all these maps and we were good with everything from what I remember. There were no other changes. The earliest this board could realistically act on it would be July 18th. And then that night, assuming everything goes okay, just sign the maps and you're done here that
want to
night.
just bring them back now.
I think just leave them here if it makes sense for you.
Yes,
Just trying to be the most efficient.
I just want to make sure, because we got to get my There's 3 more mile orders. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I gave them that as well.
Mhm. Yeah, so you have enough
Just pass that.
copies.
Oh. I was just gonna put this one in here. Just so they're not all on that. Hey. Perfect, thanks. So, yeah, so I guess you gotta put me on the agenda for July 18th.
Alright, so I'll accept a motion to reschedule the Enrich public hearing for July 18th. Second. Motion by Carol, second by Dorothea, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none, so it will take back.
And I think we gotta make sure whatever happens with the notice
Yeah.
gets,
I'm gonna find out right now.
I think that would be good. But prior to that public hearing, we'll make sure that it's good to go.
Yeah.
This is the only, we haven't had issues before, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it. I kind of figured it. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Alright, well, just in time. Union Hall special use permit, the preliminary meeting, so. You guys are back?
Hi there.
Hi. Do you mind just giving us an overview of your new project and?
Yeah, we're just wanting to change the definition of the second floor from residential apartments, 3 residential apartments to 4 boarding rooms. We've done a ton of work since the last time we were here, including all of the demo upstairs, which needed to take place because we needed to get the plumbing and the electrical. We originally intended to leave the second floor for later, but because of the need to redo the plumbing and electrical for the entire building, there's not a single inch of that building that has not been completely reworked. We needed to address the upstairs sooner than we intended to. And in doing so, uncovered, a sort of a broader floor plan and a different set of circumstances than we originally anticipated from what had been sort of framed out earlier. Thank you so much. And identify the layout of 4 units and the utility space up there is the right way to go. And wanted to, rather than address it as sort of long-term rentals, to approach it as furnished rooms that then can be rented on a short-term basis, or used for staff, guest chef, various purposes.
All right, so it looks like you have met with Tim and gone over some of this, which makes sense considering where you are in the process of
Yeah.
everything. It looks like he feels this would be a motel hotel category, which actually falls under boarding house or
Yeah.
special use permit.
We liked the term boarding house
Yeah, I know,
better.
it's quaint.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And it means that there's I guess the one definition that made it different was a food element. And so the idea that there's like a connection to the restaurant
Yeah.
and like with your room comes breakfast makes a lot of sense to us.
We're just reviewing some of this.
Yep.
While we look over some of this, do any of the board members have questions on, for the applicant on any of this new information?
One of the questions that we were looking at was the under 30 days. And what was it that you just described? You might have help staying there or?
Well, I mean, we recognize that there is not a lot of housing for people coming to town to work. Let's say, obviously we're assuming that most of the people that are employed in the restaurant are living locally. But if there was like a guest chef coming in or someone coming in to do, I don't know, if there was an event or someone coming to work for a couple of weeks. I mean, I think 30 days is absolutely the limit of what we would expect there. So ultimately, I think we see them as rooms that we would, would be like rooms of an inn, essentially.
And I think the distinction's important because past 30 days, you gotta do a month-by-month tenancy situation.
No, that's not.
Months. Yeah.
No, I think honestly, when I think about the potential of employees, or it's more like that would become a guest scenario.
Right.
That would be like us saying like, we've got a room, you can stay here, come up and do this, like work, do your outdoor fire pit for the weekend or something. I don't know. Just the idea of doing something, having that space available for people rather than locked up into. The truth is that the condition of those apartments as it was previously
Scary.
occupied was mind-blowing. So I think the idea of having it sort of fall back into that condition, considering the amount of money that we've spent on the building at this point, which far exceeds any of our wildest expectations and will continue to do so, it just made a lot more sense to identify them as spaces that we were in charge of cleaning, we were in charge of maintaining, and so that's sort of what led us in this direction.
Would these rooms be rented out to like people who came to town as tourists?
Yeah. Sure.
Like the downstairs, are you still going to do like a cafe?
Everything's exactly the same. There's,
Great.
yeah.
Could you just show me how these are broken out and like if a person's staying, like if you're.
You mean like walk you through it?
Yeah, broken
Just
out.
get a
like
magic market and
this-
divide it,
If this like
a lot of doors in there.
was staying here, we would have,
So if you walk up these steps, you get upstairs.
Yep.
Room number 1, you enter here, bedroom, this is the bathroom, this is a little kitchenette.
Oh, okay.
Then this is room number 2, bedroom, little kitchenette, bathroom.
Just
Room
you should
number
clarify
3,
the
down here,
kitchenette.
bathroom, step closet, step in,
Right.
bedroom, little kitchenette. Room number 4, stepping in here, bedroom, walking through to this little sitting room, kitchenette here. This is a utility room, washer, dryer. This is well, there's, if you step up the steps here, there's a little hallway here. This is a communal closet that would be like extra towels and blankets and pillows for everyone. And then there's a little hallway here. Number 1, number 2.
Oh, okay, I was confused with the hallway, not the.
So this is.
This is pretty clear. This is included here?
And what does that mean?
Jesse,
It's not gonna have a,
you
sorry,
should
what?
clarify that it's just a mini fridge and a sink.
Yeah, it's a mini fridge, sink, outlets, toaster. It's not a
Kind of
stove.
like
A hot-
like a hotel kind of thing.
Yes.
Very, very, just enough to make yourself coffee or tea in the morning. Have, a small fridge. It's not like full on cooking.
I think it'd be like hardwood floors too.
There are the original floors
Oh, really?
mostly, because we've ripped up all of the floors and gone down to the original floors. And then we brought in some 8-inch planks from elsewhere where we needed to. So yes, they're hardwood floors. They all have like, a couch, a little table, chairs,
Yeah.
etc.
And this one you come in.
Wow. Yeah, couldn't figure out what this,
Yeah.
I said, hey, maybe that's a common space.
That's where all of the cleaning supplies and,
Okay.
the rooms will be serviced from that space.
We'll have to get like a CO for the upstairs of the building department, just.
CO with the building department.
This is.
I'm not sure. I'd have to check.
I mean, we've talked to our,
Well,
oh, yes.
oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh, that's a lot.
Like Tim will just have to confirm everything's okay, do his inspection.
Yes, and
That's not
and also
safe.
the architect has already clarified that all of the egress, because we took windows, we've added more windows. We discovered in the demo, windows that have been completely boarded up. So we have additional windows on the building and they're full size, so the egress is good. And certainly from an insurance perspective, I think there'll be some changes.
So they'll be on their own circuits, basically
Yes.
upstairs?
There's
Yes.
an upstairs circuit and a downstairs circuit.
I'm not sure what, I think Tim just gave us we just filled out some additional information. I don't know if we turned these into you, the referral.
He sent that over, so
Okay.
that's a form, just to give you guys background, that he fills out and gives over to us, just to make sure it tells us exactly what, he's recommending, and that there's
Got it.
no issues. It's not just for you, it's for everybody.
I see.
But I was able to look over at least your application, there is one change, if you wouldn't mind coming up and just, changing it in one spot, but that should just be one simple. Oh, and you would, I should, I'm glad I just initially got it. And then since you were last here, just so you're aware, our form has not been updated yet, it's in the process. For 2024, there's a new fee schedule, so it's $250, so we have your check for $150, so next time you come in, you just bring another check for $100. But it's going to be a very similar process to the last time. And I just want to confirm with the board here first, because we have already done for the restaurant and cafe, which is the same property, the site visit and the emergency service site visit. I would be comfortable with moving forward because it is the same. But I want to hear from the board if others feel that's okay as well. Using the last site visit and not conducting another one.
I wasn't on the
Oh, you
last site visit, and I don't think
Right.
Carol was either.
Yeah, we can't speak for that. Do you have any position?
So maybe we should, one more.
Would you guys be open to that at a later point in time?
We
Alright,
do
have your
those site
form,
visits
we-
every day, so
Alright.
more than welcome.
Yeah, so that being said, it's a very similar process. We'll just need you to fill out the seeker form one more time. And similar to what we had requested the last time, just a very brief business plan, what the objective is, hours of operation, all those considerations that you had provided the last time. I can send over an email with the different points. It wouldn't be as much information because this is different and
So is that for the whole building or just for the upstairs?
just for the upstairs, for the special use permit that you're doing here. So the last time, we talked about signage and things of that nature, because you've already kind of done that. I don't feel you need to do that with this, because it's just really an extension of what we've already done. And like seasonality, if there's not any considerations there and things like that.
I just have one question. For the stairways going up, do you have banisters on either side?
Yes. We had thought about making some adjustments to the stairways, but because of the preservation perspective that has come into play, we couldn't make any changes. So there are banisters there and they're being restored and staying in place.
Do any other members have other questions or comments? Right, so just to recap, $100 extra for the fee, for the, fee schedule change 2024, the SEMA form, and, just a business plan, but we can email you, Lisa, I have your email now, so
Okay,
we can email you those action items in the list. And then I think once that's all said and done, you can go through it, and then schedule the site visit at the next meeting to come to. For 2024, if you just submit any documentation by Friday to Vicki or Amanda, then we can review it in advance and we're all set with it.
Sorry, for 2024.
Just like our new processes for 2024 is by the Friday before the meeting. We want all documentation for that meeting so that we have time to review and everything.
And when would that next meeting likely be?
That will be, it's not July 4th.
The 18th.
The 18th. So, if you have all that information then, we can have you on the,
And is it okay if, can, I don't need to be here, do I?
I don't believe you.
Okay. Great.
So, and then if everything goes to plan, it should be,
And then after that would be a public hearing?
if everything looks, acceptable on that, we would then look to schedule a public hearing and a site visit.
Great.
Yeah, and then so potentially August, that would be the earliest that we would be able to do a public hearing.
Got it.
So,
Okay.
Does this have to go?
I'm pretty sure that's
Probably,
well,
yeah.
but we'll handle that at the next meeting. But it should be, should work out. No good.
So, do you have any questions for us?
I don't think so. Not to bring, one thing that I wanted to clarify was the parking question. We had previously identified spaces for the residents of the apartments, so that was already taken into consideration with the lot. I probably shouldn't, but it's 4 instead of 3 units. So is that something we're gonna need to figure out a way to address?
I think the building department could answer that, because I think it's based on an occupancy calculation. And I don't know if one additional room pushes you up or down.
Okay.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Because you do already have that approved parking
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, so I would definitely talk with him about that, and maybe denote that in the business.
And one other thing, if it's very close, but on the other side, meaning another spot, but we're already locked into this, the planning board does have some discretion to modify if appropriate.
I mean, as it is, we haven't, considered any street parking element, or I suppose, I just think the one spot, hopefully, will not make a big difference, but if we need to address it, we should probably think about it sooner than later.
I think I'd rather be err on the side of caution and address it, at least in that business plan. That's, if the board feels comfortable with that. But would we have, so that would be amending the other special use permit?
Potentially,
Okay.
but that wouldn't require a whole big rigmarole process.
Could we just account for it in this one though, like just like parking for the residents? Or like, not residents, the West.
I guess I would have to look into exactly how to make it all flow together, but it can be accomplished, how we shape it out.
Could I just offer up a parking space on the neighboring property for it, something like that?
I don't
Since
see why not,
maybe I'll just do that.
if you have.
if we have to.
And I know you were working on the water, how is that going for,
Well, we already
The well
dug our well,
did that, yeah?
so we're not reliant on town water at
Oh,
all.
okay, how is the well pretty productive?
It's, what's that?
I mean, once we rig up all the.
Right. We won't be reliant on it, but it was described as a gusher.
Oh, really?
15 gallons per.
Yeah, so we'll email you over a summary of all that. I think that's it for tonight. Most of it.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so I want to go back and revisit agenda topic 2, the Enrichova subdivision, just so the board and any members of the public that may be tuned in are on. The legal notice was sent over on June 4th to the Altamont Enterprise and posted. Additionally, it was shared with the applicant's representation on June 4th, as well as the list of abutters and the request for the certified mail receipts to be brought with them for tonight. So, that being said, our obligations were met in terms of noticing and providing instructions to the applicant and the representation. So, we'll plan to have the public hearing on the 18th. All right, so next we will go into executive session.
For matters relating to employment and
Yeah.
representation.
Yeah,
So
so
now
we'll cut the public part.